I think once June comes back in, it'll be the three of us today, which is perfect. Should give us plenty of opportunity to kind of cruise through things. If you guys have questions, you're welcome to ask. And then I promise I will try my best not to go over too long so that you guys actually can go enjoy your weekends. I promise. Sometimes I can go a little bit over just because there's a lot to show, but I will try to move quickly through things. If you guys at any point feel like I'm going too fast, though, please just tell me. I will gladly go back over something or I will slow down. This is something I live and breathe every day. So to me, I can go through it very quickly, but I don't want to make things more complicated than they need to be. So, where we are exploring today, guys, is kwbresources.com. This is going to be our office website. If you are on a computer, you're welcome, of course, to follow along. If you'd rather just sit back and watch, whatever works for your learning style works for me. I just want to make sure you guys at least get a quick tour of where to find a lot of those key tools and features just to make things easier for you. So, the very first thing I like to show you on kwbresources.com is actually this new agent button. You'll see it right at the base of the front door. You click on that. What it will do is it's going to pull to several different pieces of information specifically relevant for you guys as new agents. One thing I will always disclose at the start of this class is you're going to find that there's a ton of different ways to get to the same content on our website. So I try to show you guys the most convenient methods just to make it easier to remember. But the very first button I love to show is on the left-hand side here under Getting Started. If you select Learn More, it should take you to a little checklist here that's going to basically just disclose the onboarding process, give you guys an idea of what to expect. You'll see that we've got this wonderful checklist. Everybody in this room, though, is through the onboarding process. So congratulations, you guys. You don't have to worry about most of those details. If you were a little bit earlier into things, it would have just kind of given you an idea of what to expect. However, I do like to talk about the things you can do immediately at the bottom here, one of which is browsing this website, which we're doing together today, checking the office calendar, which I can tell you guys have been doing because you've been able to join us for Ignite, which has been wonderful. And then we also are going to talk a little bit more about Ignite. Obviously, you guys are in Ignite. I'm going to check real quick. Nobody's online. I will not go too far into Ignite to save us some time today, just because I know you guys know about it. You're in the room for it. But obviously, it's building that really strong foundation and you get to meet some great instructors through it. For those of us who jumped midway in Ignite this time, anything that you missed, you can catch the next time we bring it back around in January. And then if you are going to be all set, you completed all 20 sessions by next Friday, then what we do is even if I should specify, even if you're not graduating, we're going to have a celebration regardless. If you are graduating, we'll get you a graduation certificate. That's going to be based off of if you've done those 20 sessions on your sheet. And then if you were able to get some of those additional at the bottom. And if you're not graduating, we still want to celebrate the commitment you guys have made and how you've shown up. So we'll make it a little fun. We might make it festive with some cupcakes. And we try to invite a lot of those instructors to come back in so they can just do an open Q&A with you guys, which is pretty cool. Other than that, I'm going to highlight some key Facebook pages that I highly recommend joining, and then also attending office meetings. Clearly, you guys are pros at that, so keep it up. We love to see it. You guys are showing up, and that is one of the biggest things we could ever ask of you. Yeah, please. That's actually the old office. Yep, sorry, that's the old office. I usually crop it out. Nope, you're okay. Thank you for asking. I usually crop it out because I haven't had a chance to update that, and I don't know where this sheet is in my computer, someone's computer. So ignore that little detail at the bottom, but thank you for pointing it out. No, 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 you're paying attention. That's a good thing. On the right-hand side, you're going to see that we also have basic training. If you click the Learn More button, it's actually going to take you to the Scott Leroy Marketing website. So I know many of us are familiar with Scott Leroy at this point. Scott Leroy Marketing is who set up all of your initial technology, but their extension of help and resources do not stop after that initial onboarding. They're actually someone you can continue to go back to and find lots of value through what they have to offer. So when we land on their page, you see that there's a little search bar here right there to the right-hand side. I always suggest use that because sometimes you might not know where something is hidden in their website. So use that feature to pull to the right information you may be looking for. I always use the example of QR codes. Something as simple as generating a QR code is something that is really common right now in marketing, but not everybody knows how to do it. So if you guys are in that boat, you don't know how to make one, but you would love to have one on your next flyer, you actually could search QR code on their page and they give you like a little jot form that you'll complete. very simple information they're collecting from you, but they will create that QR code for you and send it back within usually the hour. And then you guys can just go ahead and throw that onto your flyer design. So they are wonderful. A lot of the things that they offer you guys as services are going to be offered to you for free through our partnership as an office. So you guys have tons of different resources you can explore within Scott Leroy. So keep that in mind. Again, they just offer lots of different things for you. I always point out that under let me see here. Usually I'm going to do log in first because this tripped me up last time. They changed the way the site was formatted. So in here, it's going to ask us to type in our market center number. Our market center number is 350. You're going to see that number many a times. I know several of us already have. But when you type in 350, you're going to see now at the top of the page in just a moment, we have more options now because they're recognizing our partnership with them. So once you've typed in that 350 number under the logins tab on the far right, it should allow you to access these additional tabs. Under agent resources, there is a little training section, and you actually can scroll over to where it says training calendar. Something that not everybody tends to know is that the Scott Leroy marketing team actually offers live tech trainings as well weekly, and they are doing those Monday through Friday. You'll see that obviously they are going to take off for the holidays there, but they are offering these training opportunities for you live through Zoom Monday through Friday at 1 o'clock. I like to point that out for two different reasons. One, everyone's got a slightly different schedule. That's one of the cool things about real estate. It kind of works whenever you have the chance to build into it. And so sometimes those Tuesday and Thursday afternoon classes that we're offering in the Market Center, these might be a challenge for you guys to attend. But if you felt like, nope, Monday's my one day off, that's when I can really commit to learning different things, then go ahead and explore the Scott Leroy calendar because they are offering those live trainings on Mondays. The other reason I point that out is because you'll see they do have different topics as well that they're rotating through. We do the same thing here, but sometimes you may notice that the Scott Leroy team is going to teach on a certain topic that maybe we haven't touched on in a couple weeks. Maybe we're not planning to touch on it for the next couple of weeks. We would love for you guys the opportunity to learn things in a timely manner. So if you're about to take a listing and you're ready to make a Facebook ad for the first time, but you have no idea what you're doing, you're looking around and you're saying, okay, well, Jenna's not going to share on that. Jules and Leah aren't talking about that anytime soon. Dang it. What should I do? Always cross-reference this calendar because they very well may be leading that exact training in the next couple days where you can get that information in a timely manner as a supplement to what's already offered in the office. So keep that in mind, guys. It's as simple as just clicking on the actual event. You'll get the actual full description or topic, and then it will have the live Zoom link right there in the description for you to hop right on. So they make it very simple. You actually can even go a step further if you wanted to have a handout. They will have all of the classes outlined here on a little handout below. And just make sure you're clicking the Eastern time because they do partner with lots of offices. Well, I didn't think that would take me all the way out of where I was. Sorry, guys. The other thing I like to point out is actually under agent resources, marketing support. So this is one that I will admit I don't know everything about because I'm not an agent, so I don't have to use this as often as you may. But Scott Leroy Marketing actually offers concierge services for free. So if you guys would like assistance with your marketing, say it's a listing flyer or maybe an open house flyer, things of that nature, if you send them that information in advance, they usually can put together those materials on your behalf and send them back to you for free. Again, you just want to give them a little bit of notice. Don't be saying, hey, I've got an open house in 2 hours. They're not probably going to get that back to you in time, but usually 48 hours or so, they can work with you and they can get that information back to you. So again, I don't know all the ins and outs of what they can do to assist you in your business. However, my homework assignment for each of you is to go home, click on that button and explore what they can do for you for free. Right now, especially as a brand new agent, you guys don't always have all the forms of leverage installed in your business. So we want to make sure that we are offering you that opportunity to save some time and focus your energy on some other activities while you have somebody who loves doing the marketing piece, doing that in the background for you. So keep that in mind. It's something I would love for you to explore this weekend or at some point in the next couple of weeks. Check out those services they offer for free. Otherwise, you'll see again, they do have some other marketing services you may care to explore. I like to point out the agent store option here, though. If you click on where it says store, many of you have asked me before, where is the best place to order business cards? The unfortunate thing I will tell you is that sadly, we do not offer those as part of the onboarding experience. However, and the reason for it is we want you guys to be able to design what you want to design. We don't want to give you a standard template you must use. But one of the frequent questions I get is, well, okay, well, how do I go about ordering them? My first recommendation will always be Agent Store because not only do they have pre-done Keller Williams templates available, they also offer them at a very competitive price point. So I personally ordered my business cards through there. I picked a standard template. I plugged in my specific information. I even got to customize the finish of the card. I got to customize the corners, made them rounded so they kind of stood out a little bit. But I've ordered 500 of them for $39. So it is not very expensive. It can be a very, very good starting point for you guys. Although you are not limited to Agent Store, if you would prefer to really capitalize on your own brand, make it something very unique to you and your business, you can use Canva. You could use Vistaprint. This is just going to be one of those plug and play, very quick and easy processes if that's what you're looking for. And I also like to point out as a reminder, anybody in this room who is provisional broker status, you are required to get Tasha Viney's approval of your business card design before you place that order. And I promise it is not to hold you up in the process. It is just to protect you guys because I would hate for anyone to spend money on something and then find out later they cannot use it. So be including Tasha in those conversations once you've got your design kind of put together. Send it over to her to review before you place that order. If you are able to, shoot her a text. If you're working on it at home, you're welcome to do it that way. If you're in the office and she happens to be as well, her office is actually going to be straight back in the back hallway out here. So she's in 3 days a week, so tons of opportunity to stop by and see if she can give that a glance for you. But again, provisional brokers, you are required to get that approval before ordering your cards. Otherwise, we are going to come back to our new agent section. We're going to scroll a little bit lower. This next little section is going to detail those Facebook pages I specified earlier. The top one actually is going to be one that everyone was emailed shortly after they onboarded with me. It should have had a welcome to KW Valentine family. There should have been balloons at the bottom. I do that intentionally so it stands out for you. But underneath those balloons, there's a link to join our private Facebook group. This one is going to be an internal group with just our agents and our leadership team as part of that. And it's going to allow you guys open opportunity to communicate with each other, to collaborate with one another. And you guys will see that people are always asking good questions. Sometimes people are literally saying, hey, I need somebody to host an open house for me. I need somebody to help my buyers with a showing. And usually they're willing to compensate for things like that. So it could be a really great way for you guys to get your foot in the door if you haven't already had that opportunity. If you have, and you're looking just for other opportunities, there's tons of opportunity for you to go in and even just ask questions. I know sometimes as a brand new agent, you might not know every vendor in the world. So if you're like, okay, great, I just took my first listing, but it is in Lincolnton, and my guy that I thought was going to be the photographer, he actually can't go out there. So if you run into that, I would highly recommend asking that question on the Facebook page. Say, hey, does anyone have a photographer who services this area, or whatever vendor you may be looking for? People will screenshot contacts out of their phone and drop them right in the comments. All people they've worked with before. Same thing goes for referral agents. If you're looking for somebody in a certain area and you've not made any connections yourself, ask other agents in our office. Otherwise, I'm always talking about the upcoming trainings and events. I'm welcoming our new agents. I am congratulating our agents on capping on their achievements past month. So lots of community right within that Facebook group, and you'll have the opportunity to meet and talk to agents that aren't always in the office. So that can be a really big perk. Below that, though, is a Facebook group that is dedicated to our vendor partners. So in case you have not picked up on that yet, we do have our own vendor program here at KW Valentine. Not every Keller Williams office has one, so it does feel kind of special that we do. And for those vendors to be part of our program, they must be vetted by another KW Valentine agent. So the only way they can get to be part of the program is if somebody else in this office vouched for them, the products and services they offered. So again, it's just somebody you can already feel a little bit better about inherently trusting from the very beginning because you know they've partnered with someone else in this office and did a great job. So I would recommend, again, joining that Facebook page as well, the second one down here, because it will, again, help you connect with those vendor partners. They're on there as well talking about the upcoming the upcoming promotions they may be running, new services that they're offering, things of that nature. And as with Facebook, you can always use a little like magnifying glass to just search plumbers, and anybody that's a plumber will show up in that. So keep that in mind. That is a really good page to check out. If you are not a Facebook user, don't worry. I do have a backup plan for you in connecting to the vendors. Otherwise, the two next links you're going to see, Charlotte Area Realtor Network. You guessed it. That is just real estate agents in Charlotte, non-specific to a brokerage. So great opportunity for you guys to network within the industry, local to the area. Otherwise, you see the KW Carolinas link, and that one is going to be for all Keller Williams offices between North and South Carolina. We are what's known as the KW Carolinas region. So this is a great way for you guys to, again, make those connections, build relationships with other agents in other areas, kind of expand your network, build those referral agent network. The other thing I would say with that too is that obviously you've seen we offer tons of trainings right here in this office, but the really cool thing is that the KW Carolinas region also offers their own set of trainings. And because you are a member of KW Carolinas region, you have the same opportunity to join into those trainings as well. So if you're looking for maybe a higher level training that's being offered by the Carolinas region, you might even find out that it's being held out at the beach. And then you get an excuse to go to the beach for the weekend, mastermind with other agents, and then you also get to use it as a write-off, which is a big win. So keep that in mind because they do have their own set of trainings that they're offering in supplement and in addition to what we do. So great way to make those connections, and you'll actually find that lots of our agents like to travel around like that too and get to know some other great agents in the area. A little bit further down, Kellerisms is going to be the next thing that we're finding here. So this is going to be a handout. I usually don't necessarily click on it for today's purposes, just because I want to save time more than anything. But if you were to click on this, essentially all it does is it takes the terminology that's used in Keller Williams culture and it breaks it down into real world definitions, because I know most of us get the capping at this point. We're like, okay, that makes sense. But when you hear like something like 145, it's a little harder to kind of guess what that might mean. So if you find yourself in that position of like, okay, I really don't know what I'm listening to or what I'm reading, I just want to make sure, this is a great handout that just breaks that down into digestible terms. And also that gives you that extra confidence when you're walking around the office and having conversations about some of this stuff. If you would like, you are always welcome to ask another agent or a leadership team member. You do not have to feel embarrassed or shy to ask. And if it's late after hours, I get not wanting to shoot somebody a text about something you might find silly. So you can always reference the Colorisms handout here. Below, you will see that there is a button to actually access answers.kw.com. This is going to be a website that I did talk to everybody about when we met together. This is going to be a website that you can visit that will actually have frequently asked question based articles available to you surrounding your KW technology. So as you're working in KW Command, as you're working in DocuSign for the first couple times, if you're kind of struggling to navigate to this next step, or maybe you're trying to figure out how you can do something for the very first time, you can click on answers.kw.com. It will take you to that knowledge base website, and you can search those keywords to get those articles to appear for you. So keep that in mind because it is an example of one of those on-demand resources you can access anytime you need help with your technology. There is a sister website to that as well. It's called ideas.kw.com. In case you guys ever have feedback about Command, you can share it through that site. And actually, Labs is the organization that works Command essentially. They are always trying to implement new updates and new ideas. So if you share anything, you very well might see some of that feedback come to life, because above all else, it does not matter if you're a brand new agent or if you're experienced in another brokerage, worked with a different CRM. They would love to hear your feedback so that Command can truly work for you and be an efficient tool for your business. A little bit lower, we do see the Ignite materials are posted here. Again, most of us have gotten those at this point. If you've not, just shoot me an email. I will send you a digital copy right away. But hopefully you guys have those available to you. There is going to be a section down below that where you can actually access our training calendar. We talked about trying to keep this thing clean and convenient. We're not going to do the complicated methods, so we're skipping this today because that's a lot of scrolling. It's hidden. I don't like it. There's a way easier way to get there. But underneath, we do see the last item is how to book a conference room. So as you may already know, we have 5 different conference rooms right here in this office, all of which vary in capacity. We've got some that are 4-person conference rooms, all the way to 8-person conference rooms. And these resources are available specifically for you guys to take advantage of. We would love for you to use that space so you can have that professional and private environment, especially when you're working with other agents, meeting with maybe your coach for a consultation, any clients that you may be meeting with. You are welcome to use those conference rooms. It's actually exactly what they are intended for. And it's a really, really simple process to do that. You'll hit that register button. It will take you to a third-party site called Skeda, which is our booking service site. When you make your own account, because you don't already have one, you're going to make an account. You can just use your KW email, whatever password you'd like. Once you've made that account, you should be able to get in, and what it will show is actually like almost an Excel spreadsheet. On the left-hand side, you're going to see all the times in the day. Across the top, you're going to see the conference rooms by name. They also will specify next to their name the amount of people that can be held in that room, because I know I don't expect you guys to have the conference room named memorized yet. But this way you'll know automatically if that's going to be a space that will work for you. And then you'll see actually active reservations for that day. All you have to do is click on the spot, the gap that you're trying to fill, and you can drag out that reservation for the amount of time you need. We try to limit you guys to about 2 hours in a day if possible, only so those resources can be on rotation for other agents as well. So keep that in mind. Again, that's going to be more for collaborative efforts, not just you by your lonesome. But if you are looking for an independent workspace where you can just, again, have that additional privacy, because the hub is great. And if you're like me, it's very easy to get distracted. I will jab, jab, jab away. So for me, I do sometimes need like that closed door to just kind of crunch through what I need to get done. So we do, I know this is a bad example, but out the back door of our training room, there are 2 focus rooms right here in that hallway. Those are going to be single desk workspace offices that you can use for 2 hours at a time. And you can have that privacy of just the closed door. So whether it's phone calls you're making, if you again just want to really crunch down on your lead gen for the day, you have the opportunity to have that privacy without obviously any cost to you. So keep the focus rooms in mind, guys, especially as you are coming into the office more frequently, which we hope you do. Also, on that spreadsheet, you'll find ways to book our media room as well. Once you guys have attended the media room trainings where you've learned how to use all that equipment, you'll have the ability to book the room through that same site. For booking your media room trainings, I will kind of jump around for 2 seconds. You're just going to click this button up top here. Sorry. This button up top here will allow you to make that media room training reservation. So that way you can learn how to use everything. But I will take us back to our homepage. I should have prefaced, the homepage always takes the longest. It will take us about half of class, so don't be daunted. I promise we go faster as we go. As we scroll, you will see essentially our leadership team outlined here. Think of it as a staff directory. It's telling you who everybody is, what our roles are, and how you can reach us through email. Hopefully each of you guys still have that packet you received from me when you started, so you have an easy handout to reference. But if you lose place of that, then you'll find it right here on our website. Underneath, there are some pinned videos that Leah, our tech coordinator, or marketing coordinator, I should say, because she's kind of shifted to just marketing. Leah has posted a few videos in her time just explaining how to do simple steps within Command and DocuSign. Specifically, the bottom video here that I'm just about looking at, this one, KW Command with DocuSign. This is the ultimate overview. It explains to you how your DocuSign and your Command accounts talk to one another. So before you ever are working with your first client, I would like everybody to watch that video. Make sure that, especially once you have your MLS, I should preface, get your MLS access first. Once you have MLS, click on that video, because it's going to show you how to put in your NERDS ID number into DocuSign so that your forms are showing up in DocuSign. Otherwise, 6 weeks from now, when you got your first client, if you've never done it, you're going to get into DocuSign and go, where are my forms? And that's not what you want to do with a client. So watch that video once you have your MLS access. Again, it's just going to make sure you guys are prepared and set up for success. Above that is a submit a commission request video that she's done as well. Once you guys go under contract, we like to be aware so that we can prepare and anticipate for that closing. It allows us to track our numbers and make sure we are ready to process that when you guys are closed. So we always ask you to submit commission requests once you've gone under contract. That's done through Command. And when the time comes, watch that video for step-by-step guide to how to do that. And feel free, again, ask questions if you have any. We are happy to kind of guide you through. I'm not necessarily the best resource for commission requests. I once tried to do one, even though I'm not an agent, and I think I failed miserably. But I don't normally have to do stuff like that. Once you've got the hang of it, it is easy, I promise. But that video is there to help you when the time comes, so keep that in mind. Eventually, we do stumble across our office calendar here. I tell everybody in our meetings together, you know, I do not like the way this looks, because to me, that is chaotic. That's a lot to look at. So my recommendation is to click here, which is actually just above. We're going to click here for a full calendar view, because now you can see everything so much easier. I just think it's a lot less overwhelming when we're looking at it this way. So once we have clicked on that, you will be able to see all of the events we've got coming up. As a reminder, you guys are welcome to attend just about everything you see on this calendar. All we ask is that you click on the event to find meeting details. If it's ever something you can do remotely through Zoom, the Zoom link is always going to be in that description. So if you do not see a Zoom link, it is because it is an in-person class. If it is something you can do through Zoom, it will be shown. If it is something in person like Ignite, we know we don't have to register for. Today, another great example of no registration necessary. And you'll see that right there in the calendar description. No registration necessary. If it is going to be something that we are trying to have an idea of our head count in advance, you'll always see a registration link will be featured at the bottom of that calendar detail. So keep that in mind. Again, it should allow you guys the opportunity to figure out what's going on in the Market Center. If it is something you feel is of value to you personally or to your business, jump into it. And by clicking right on the description, you should automatically see how you must register if you have to at all. So that way you know in advance. If you have ever a question on what you see on this calendar, please ask me because I'm so happy to help guide you guys a little bit further. But this should give you hopefully a one-stop shop because that was my intention, is that you guys could look at this anytime and already have the information you're looking for. And if you would like easier access to my wonderful calendar here, I know I like it this way because I'm in it all the time. You guys might disagree, and that's okay. The bottom left-hand corner, there is this little teeny tiny blue button that says Add to Google Calendar. If I click on that, you'll see it actually will copy all of the Market Center information directly onto my Google Calendar here. And with Google Calendar, the best part is on my left-hand side where my mouse is, I can turn that calendar right back off. So there's going to be days where I do want to see that because I want to know what's going on. And there's going to be days where I do not want to see that many events because personally, like, again, it's because I have got my stuff and the Market Center stuff. But I had one the other day where it was like, oh, this one, like Thursday, plus 12 more. Like, that's a lot to look at. So know that you can always turn it back off if you do add it. It is not going to be a constant. And that is just, I think, the easiest way to access the information. But otherwise, now you know, you can go to our office website, click office calendar, and it will drag you directly to this information. So that's probably the next best method. A little bit further underneath our calendar, we're just highlighting some of those recurring events you're going to see on it. Our ALC meetings are offered once a month, the third Tuesdays at 11 o'clock in the morning. Our ALC meetings is when our Agent Leadership Council gets together. They have higher level business masterminds. They are also entrusted to make decisions on behalf of Valentine. So what we do, obviously, when we're making decisions, for example, if we were to increase a transaction fee once you had capped, if we were to change that at all, we consult, of course, with our investors. We consult with our leadership team. And then after those conversations are had, we bring that conversation to our ALC because they are our actual agents in this office designed to help represent your voices as agents. So we want to get their opinions on things as well because above all else, we always want Valentine to be the best place to call home. So we naturally would love to have the opinion of our actual agents on what we're about to do. So ALC meetings, that is actually one of the items on your checklist. We highly encourage you guys to sit through those meetings at least once, just so you can hear what that's about and take interest in anything you might learn. But ALC meetings are fantastic opportunities to also meet some top producing agents because that's exactly who serves on the ALC. Our team meetings, on the other hand, are the second and fourth Tuesday of every month at 11. Those are high energy. This door is always open. We are packed out in here. We have lots of fun. And I think it's great because we intentionally make sure that there's a value add for you guys. Because again, if you're giving us an hour of your time, we want to make sure it is worthwhile. So we usually bring in an agent panel with different topics or focal points. We sometimes will do intimate interviews, have special guests, but we always do something at least for half of that meeting. And then the other half will have Tasha come in and provide big updates. We'll have Jules and Leah get up here and they'll share about technology updates. We've also got a little couple touches on important events not to miss. So lots and lots of good information will be shared in those team meetings. And it's just 1 hour. Again, lots of agents in here. If you want to be in an energetic room, this is the one to be in. And we also invite our vendor partners to those team meetings. So if you have not yet been introduced to many vendors, our vendor partners are invited to join us. They actually will have a table out in the hub area. And what you can do at the end of the meeting is you can walk right out and you can mingle with each of them, find out what they do, stop at their tables, and then start building those relationships. So really, really good opportunity there. Those are also offered in person and online. So if you ever can't be in the office, you can at the very least live stream. Our Tech Tuesdays, on the other hand, are going to be taught by not Rob Miller, sorry, taught by Jenna Kelly. Jenna Kelly actually gets in here and she teaches you guys Command and DocuSign basics. She always asks, of course, make sure you've logged in at least one time. Don't come in and be like, I've never been in it, just because she wants to show you a little bit further than that. But come into her classes because she is showing you guys the best and most efficient ways to use those tools to your advantage because they have so much capability to help you. And she's going to show you how to really highlight that and implement in your business. And she also, actually, one of the last classes she usually teaches in the month, because she'll rotate her topics, is usually just an open Q&A walk-in class. So if you have questions on Command or DocuSign, come right in, ask her. She'll show you all the things she knows in those meetings. And she's actually been an admin. I'm sure many of you know PJ at this point. He's always walking around the office, so I'm sure you do. PJ, actually, Jenna's his assistant, and she has worked with him for, gosh, I think at least 8 years, I want to say now, probably somewhere in that ballpark. So she knows this technology very in and out. And those are also offered in person and online, I should say. Underneath, you see Sabra and Tasha here. So Sabra Romy is our BIC and Tasha Viney is our BIC associate. So if you are looking for something like truly BIC related, it is illegal. It needs to go. It's a legal matter. It needs to go through the BIC. Sabra is our actual BIC. Tasha is our BIC associate who's equally knowledgeable. She just doesn't always have the same authority as a BIC would on paper, we'll say. Otherwise, you are welcome to stream your questions through Tasha. If she doesn't know, she'll refer back to Sabra and get a better answer for you. But typically, she is equipped to answer so many things. She really has such a great experience in this industry, and she's been with us for such amount of time that she is very, very knowledgeable. Both of these lovely ladies are equally patient and kind as well. So please do not be afraid to build relationship with them or to reach out to them. The other thing I'd like to say with Tasha specifically is she handles a lot more of those administrative questions. If it's not urgent, like my hair is not on fire because my transaction's holding up okay, then you can go ahead and run questions through Tasha. Sabra is going to be for, again, those legal instances. You definitely do not want to skip a beat. You'll want to contact her directly. The reason that Tasha is also such a prominent figure in this office is you'll notice Sabra actually is not physically in here very often. It's actually her mother is 102. Her mother's 102, and she has been caring for her mother really since COVID, just because, again, trying to look out for themselves and make sure they're safe. So she sometimes will come in maybe at like 5 o'clock randomly. But Tosh is going to be in here 3 days a week to help support you guys in her absence. So you'll see her office hours are posted there. Below, you will also find that there is information on renewing your license. So I know we're nowhere near June, but I know time also slips away. So once we get to that springtime, summertime frame, and it is time for you each to renew your license, if you are curious about what steps to take with that or how to check your records, all of those are buttons you can click to find handouts that walk you through that information. Our current ALC, you'll find actually down below. These are the wonderful individuals you may want to get to know. We are going to be changing things up just a little bit in the next year. We're going to have a growth committee next year who's going to focus on helping you guys to grow your own downlines. So talk to them if you want to go to Superior and visit new incoming students so that you can start building your downlines. They are also going to help, obviously, be growing the market center. So wonderful conversations are happening in the growth committee all the time. The other prominent committee we will feature next year instead of a bunch of the committees, because the leadership team is going to be very on hand or hands on next year, I should say. The next committee that we'll have in the new year is going to also be our KW Cares committee, because that is our charitable arm locally in this office to help our agents support one another. So we, of course, are going to keep that one a prominent committee because that is very near and dear to our hearts. And we always treat each other like family, and we want to make sure we're there to support you like family. Underneath is our productivity coaches. Again, if you are brand new to real estate and you've not yet done any kind of business in the industry before, we always assign you to a productivity coach because they are here to help you guys build that business for success. They are going to help you procure those leads and lead generate to develop your business. So they'll teach you the ins and outs of that. They will also kind of be giving you updates on what's going on in the market, how to design your scripts around those conversations. They are going to be very, very helpful and also an accountability partner for you. They're going to want to intimately know what your goals are, and so they can help you to succeed and achieve those goals so you feel like you've had an accomplished first year. So your coach is a wonderful, wonderful individual to get to know. They have weekly meetings we encourage you guys and actually implore you guys to participate in, because the more you can, the better you'll feel prior to ever sitting down with a client. So let them kind of guide you and teach you, participate in those meetings. And of course, as questions come up, you are welcome to ask the coach. But participating in those meetings, I think, will help you guys to get ahead of many of those questions. When it comes to getting assigned to your coach, Michelle Amador is just going to reach out to you guys over the phone. She usually tries to give you a week or two before she makes that call, because she just wants to give you all breathing room, especially with the holidays. Lots is going on. So she should be giving you guys that call here shortly if you've not already heard from her. Very similarly, we also have weekly meetings that are held by your T group or transaction group partner. The only difference with this partner is that their focus is going to be entirely on your contracts and forms. So they're going to chunk down that content. I believe they spend about 6 to 7 weeks on buyer forms. They spend about 6 to 7 weeks on listing forms. So you are really going to know the ins and outs of those documents. You're going to understand how to essentially craft a template that you could refer back to as well. And as implied by the name transaction group partner, when you are in the middle of your transaction, if you're saying, okay, this does not line up with what I learned in class, this is a little different because he's an heir to an estate, I just want to make sure that this is signed correctly, you're welcome to text your T group partner and say, hey, Rob, would it be okay if I called you for like 5 minutes? Do you have time for me today? I'd love to just discuss this real quick with you. And if Rob's got the availability, he of course will take that call. But keep that in mind, because again, participating in those meetings, I think, is pivotal. Doing that as often as you can. And then as you're having transactions, we know you're not going to know everything by the time you're working with your first client, and that's okay. Ask questions in those moments, but do yourself the favor, save yourself the frantic energy, and learn ahead when you can. Lastly, some helpful resources and links. All of this is easier to access from the top. So I'm going to take us back to that top section. FAQs, guys, the next little tab here. This is quick one. It's really just highlighting some basic questions that we tend to get from our agents. And this is going to be something that you can refer to where you hover over that tile. If you said, okay, I do have a question about how to do a commission request. Oh, great. I can reach out to Lynn about that. So it's just going to kind of remind you what everybody does. So that way there's less confusion, and hopefully you know the direct source to go to. Of course, you're always welcome to bring questions to me. I will always admit I don't know everything, unfortunately. So I do sometimes have to just pass along a phone number for the next person to contact. So try this little hand or this little tab here and see if you can already determine who the best person is, or use that little leadership chart that is in that packet I gave you guys on your first day. That will help kind of walk you through a little bit more of what everybody does. But I'm always here as a backup if you don't know. The next, I usually skip about, but if you guys would like, it obviously details a little bit more about us, the different charities we've supported in terms of KW Cares and our give back efforts for Red Day, which is huge. You'll hear more about Red Day come May. But on-demand training, if we click on that option, you'll see right away this is going to be a password protected tab. And I apologize because that easel is blocking what I wanted to show you. But the password for anybody who needs it, it should be in your packet that you received from me. And I will give it to you today. It is capital B, lowercase a, M, C, 350. It looks almost identical to our Wi-Fi password. It's just one digit different. When we're in on-demand training, I love to show this, especially if anybody is dual career, or again, maybe you just have a more complicated schedule, and that's okay. On the left-hand side here under on-demand, if you were to select that option, it takes you actually to our Keller Williams Ballantyne YouTube channel. So what we do is we actually upload, you'll see Teresa's got tons of fantastic videos where she's interviewing other agents, she's interviewing mortgage or loan officers, she's doing lots of great things here. We have our inspirational breakfast got uploaded, so if you want to hear from one of like the Keller Williams greats, Mo Anderson, who really is the reason that KW culture is what it is. That was a really cool event we got to do this past fall. But also you'll find that we do have some great training videos as well available. I specifically point this out because, again, we would love for you guys to be participating live as often as possible. That doesn't necessarily mean it must be in person. If you can do an online live stream of something, we encourage that as well. And it's not to inconvenience you. It's actually because we feel that in those situations, you of course can ask questions in real time. You're not stuck with, okay, well, I made a list of questions and I really hope I run into Rob tomorrow because I don't know what I'm doing. We want you guys to be able to ask those questions versus just relying on prior content. We also want to make sure content stays relevant for you, especially with all the changes we know happen in the world these days. But this YouTube channel will have some of those prior recorded trainings. So if truly like I wasn't feeling well or I was traveling for the holidays, that's okay, guys. You do have a life to live and we want you to live it. So if you are unable to attend a training, we still would like you to be able to go back to that information. So a lot of times that information is posted right here to our YouTube channel. We do have everything organized by playlist at the bottom here. So if you're looking for maybe, for example, we just had Mark King in on Wednesday. If you guys did not get to attend that, fortunately, that's not something that would be posted here because it's not every training. And that's why I also don't want you guys relying too heavily on this. It's going to be just those recurring trainings where updated information is presented so that you guys can stay aware and up to date on everything you're learning. But if you are ever scouring our YouTube channel and you're looking for something specific that you think would be in one of those playlists, but you're just not seeing that video, please shoot me an email. I usually have access to those videos. Sometimes YouTube just gives me difficulty uploading them. So let me know what I can share with you if you miss anything you were looking to learn from. Similarly, I know we spoke about this when we all met together to onboard, but on the right-hand side, you actually see Command on Demand. If you select that option, it will take you to the Scott Leroy Marketing YouTube channel that I know I've shared with you because they have assembled this channel with over 1,000 videos on it. They actually have 1.2 thousand videos on it. So they are always posting prior recorded trainings as well. They're posting quick tips, just a couple minutes if you want to go in and hop onto a quick video. But you'll see even with the thumbnail that they've got at the cover, essentially cover photo here, it tells you exactly what to expect in that training. This is going to be a command overview. This is going to be specifically, let's see, add why work with what? Okay, that one, I don't know if I should read that one. Add download my app template to your KW website. There, oh, add why work with KW templates to your KW site. And then we've also got what can SLM do for you? So if you want to know what can the Scott Leroy team do to help you, watch one of those videos. They'll walk you through all the services they have to offer. So just be aware that this is also here to help you guys supplement that tech training. We know real estate never sleeps. There's going to be times that you're working on things after our office has closed for the day. And I don't want you to feel like, great, I got halfway through this, but I can't do anything because I need Rob's help and I'll just have to wait until I see him. Oh crap, he doesn't have an appointment tomorrow. I'll have to make that for next week. Do yourself a favor, check this, just see if there's a video out there on that. I can't promise anything because it's not my channel, but I would find it hard to believe that something you guys were able to come up with was not already on here in 1.2 thousand videos. However, if that does happen, yes, book with Rob, yes, book with Leah, whatever you feel you need, but this is always a good starting point. So that's our on-demand training. There's again just the pinned videos we already saw on the front page, just reiterated here, and then more information about Ignite. If you felt like we didn't get to talk about it enough today, there's more info right there. Otherwise, the next tab I look at is Office Resources. I don't like to click on it yet because I think this drop-down menu is very easy to navigate to different pieces with. You'll see there advertising guidelines. I send this to you guys, especially if we're in conversation about business cards. But advertising guidelines is going to detail the ins and outs of what you can and cannot do on your marketing, whether that's from your business cards to your signs to maybe social media posts, things of that nature. So especially my provisional brokers, unfortunately, things are a little more strict for you to start out, but I know you know that because I know real estate school scares the crap out of you. So I do know that advertising guidelines is going to be a helpful piece for you because it will help to answer or at least give you some parameters to work within when trying to do different marketing materials. And if you have questions because something is not explicitly stated that you were looking for, always feel like you can ask Tasha those questions and she'll be glad to help you. Below that, you'll see our KW Ballantyne phone roster. This is also still going to be a password protected tab, guys. This is going to, I'd like to show this one, but this is going to be the same password I just shared, which is capital B, lowercase a, M, C, 350. Once we're in, this is actually going to detail all of the agents in our office. This is a live Google Sheet. So as new agents are joining, your information gets added to the roster. As agents are exiting the business because they decided they're ready to retire, we'll take their information off. But this way it's easy for you guys to say, oh my gosh, I learned or I met so-and-so in class, but I didn't get to get their contact information, but I really wanted to ask them, if they were able to get that one note from class. You can go through and you can find their contact information, especially if you're trying to reach someone directly. Another great thing that you guys can do is you can send email blasts to our agents in our office if you guys need to communicate on a mass scale, especially maybe if you're For example, taking a firm exclusive listing. This is something that you're offering, not an MLS. It's not going to be in there. So you really want to make sure our office knows that you're taking this listing and it's offered exclusively to our agents. Something like that would be perfect for an email blast. So what you would do is you would just scoop up those email addresses and copy and paste them over into a standard composed email. My recommendation is please BCC everybody. BCC everybody and send it to just one person of that bunch, but BCC everybody because otherwise everyone's going to see everybody's response and nobody wants that. I learned that the hard way by my first week here. But in here, again, just an easy way to scoop up all of our 600 agents' emails and it will keep on going all the way down to Z. So you'll be well in communication when you need to be. And again, if you have any difficulty doing that step and you don't quite know how to do the email blast or you forget where this is, shoot me an email and I will send you step-by-step instructions. Otherwise, below that is a concession request. This is something I don't expect us to need right away, but essentially, because Keller Williams is typically the payee on your transactions, we are the ones receiving the commissions. If you guys were ever to adjust the commission, because maybe down the line you've decided several years in the business, I feel like today I really enjoyed this client. I know they're going through some hardships. I'd love it if I could roll their home warranty into my commission. I'll pay for the home warranty out of my commission, for example. If that is true, you actually would then fill out a concession request to get a concession letter drafted because essentially, since we again are the payee and we are then paying you after the fact, we do need to be aware of any alterations to your commissions. It needs to be approved of by the BIC. So you would click on concession request. It will ask you some basic questions. You'll give us all of that information pertaining to the circumstances, and then we can easily issue you that concession letter because we've got all the information we need. Occasionally, what we've seen happen in the past is without that request form, we would get like half the information. It's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It just prolongs the process. If you fill out that form, that is the quickest way to get a concession letter issued if and when the time comes. Below is the do not call list. That one I know we all know about because I know real estate school shares plenty about it. There are people who do not want to be called, unfortunately. And I don't want you guys to run the risk of contacting them by mistake because if you do, you not only can be subject to thousands of dollars in fines, you also can face court time. And we do not want any of that to fall on your laps or on your plate. So please do register for the do not call list as soon as you can. That is going to be, again, another homework assignment. Homework assignment one is to go through Scott Leroy's website, figure out what they can do for you. The second is to click that do not call list and get registered. It will give you step-by-step instructions on how to go about that so that you guys can access that information. If you have any difficulty, Tasha, again, a great resource for that. Otherwise, these last two items, much easier, I think, to access within the tab. So I'll go ahead and finally click on that. I'll type in our capital B, lowercase AMC 350. This will take us to some wonderful resources. I know everybody, I think, in this room is North Carolina licensed at the very least. So we are going to click on Get Forms on the left-hand side. This will take us to a Google Drive folder that Sabra's put together, and it is comprised of Keller Williams Ballantyne specific documentation because in your DocuSign, you're going to have all the state contracts and forms, but you'll realize that maybe the septic and sewer document you're looking for, because Sabra is a stickler on that, all for the right reasons. But she is going to be protecting you through that documentation. But if you're like, okay, well, that's not showing up in DocuSign, always cross-reference with this Google Drive folder. That would be the next best place to check for information like that because you'll find that things like that exist in here. Another popular one, people ask me all the time for our W-9s. When you guys are working referrals, you're going to need to send off a copy of our W-9 so that you guys can get that referral check issued to the office. So in that event, that is where you find that. There's also going to be different disclosures about our partnerships. You know that obviously if we have any partnerships, while your clients are not obligated to use that individual, they do need to be aware of that partnership. So those disclosures are going to be featured in this Google Drive folder. There's even some fun handouts like from walk-in to final walkthrough, walking you through all your responsibilities as the agent, just making things easier for you. You'll also see what some other ones. The actual referral agreements themselves can be found in this folder as well. So really anything unique to KW Ballantyne, especially if you're not seeing it in your DocuSign, always come back to this Google Drive folder. It's just office resources and then also get forms. This is your North Carolina documents. And then your South Carolina, should anyone get that license, is right here on the right-hand side. But that's where you can find those documents, guys. Again, if you started in the Google Drive folder and you're looking for something that's not there, then check your DocuSign. So between the two resources, you should have everything you need. And then in the middle here, we have Office Checklist. If you select Get Checklist, this takes you again to a Google Drive folder, and these ones are extra special because Sabre designed these herself. She is literally highlighted. If you were to do North Carolina contract to close for the listing agent, she has given you a literal 3-page thing all about your responsibilities as the agent, if there's any time frames associated with that task, and then also an opportunity for you to literally physically check it off so you know you did it. I'm a big fan of checklists in my own personal life. So if that resonates with anybody here, this can be a really, really great guide to have with you. Even just for those first few transactions, we know it takes a bit for them to feel like muscle memory. I know what I'm doing. I don't need to refer back to something else. But for the first couple, we want you to have the utmost possible confidence going into that deal. If this is going to make or break the difference in that situation, please have this. Maybe don't show your client the checklist, but you should have it so that you can feel comfortable in making sure that you did everything you're responsible for. So know that she has these. There's going to be North and South Carolina buyers and sellers. So no matter where you may fall, what state you may be doing the sale in, no matter what side of the deal, she's got a situation or a handout just like that for your situation. And then I'll take us back. This one is a little bit, sometimes I didn't design the whole website myself, so sometimes this one can feel like a random little jump, but the CE shop actually is a fantastic resource for you as well. If you click find classes, it will actually take you to our dual branded website because we partner with the CE shop. And so this is again just real estate education, guys. So this is an opportunity for you to get not only your CE done, but you can get pre-licensing even in another state if you'd like, or your post-licensing can be done through CE shop. I will specify that CE shop is typically going to be self-paced learning. I know for some of us, that's what I wanted. That's exactly what I'm going for. Some of us are like, maybe not. I do prefer in person. I'm better where there's actually a teacher in front of me. Wherever you may fall on that spectrum, maybe if you've not yet tried self-paced and you're just not sure about it, but you're curious if you'd be a good match for it, you actually could click free trial right here, and it will give you a week's trial period of self-paced learning that you can attempt. If you loved it by the end of it, you can plug in your credit card info and keep going with that course. If you hated it, you can walk away, no consequence, then enroll in Superior instead. Whatever you feel is best, but that's something unique to the CE shop, this little free trial option. I also will mention specifically that Superior, I know, is North Carolina, right? I know that's where a lot of us tend to get our education through, and Superior's great. CE shop is going to be a little bit more expanded than that. So if you are looking for maybe South Carolina if the time comes, or maybe you're from a different state, many people in Charlotte are, and you'd like to get licensed in your home state, you can find, look, they've got almost all 50 states here. And then they've got even further for education for different states as well. So keep it in mind that you guys could actually expand a step further if you wanted to with licensure through the CE shop. We also have some fantastic discounts available to you guys through the CE shop because of our partnership. You'll see right here that they are offering 50% off on pre-licensing packages. I know you guys unfortunately have passed the pre-licensing days. However, if you have a family member that is dying to get into real estate, a neighbor, a friend, send them the link, send them the code because they are able to use that. And there's no obligation for them to join KW Valentine. This is just so you can bless them, make their day, make their holiday, make their end of year into 2026. Give them that because it's going to make a big difference in their journey. It also can be a great tool if you're looking to build your downline. Use that as a tool to get into conversation with some of these other incoming agents. But that's a great resource to have not only for yourselves. I will say their discounts are not just for pre-licensing, they are for post and for CE as well. This one specifically just happens to say pre. If you guys are looking for what those discounts are, they do a lot of flash one-day sales. Every time they're doing a flash sale, I post about it the same day on our Facebook that morning. So that way you guys know to take advantage of that deal as soon as you can. But lots of other great resources. And I do eventually get to the very bottom of the page to show you one other feature. It used to be at the top and now it's at the very bottom for some reason. So I promise you it was much easier to get to when I first started showing it. But under this little agent essentials category, the third one from the left, there's actually a little button that says hot topics. If we click on that, it takes you to a library of ebooks, blogs, podcasts, and videos, all dedicated to real estate. So, not only is this a resource for you guys to benefit from as the agent, where you can again constantly be staying aware, up to date, and really building on your expertise, but this is also something that you guys can utilize in your social media marketing. The reason I say that is because, yes, always defer to Jules and Leah. They are the experts when it comes to social media and marketing. And I do happen to have learned a couple things from them in my time here. One of which is that when you guys are planning to make social media a big part of your marketing plan or your marketing strategy, there's two things that are the most important to know. One, you should be posting regularly. It doesn't have to necessarily be every single day, but it should be about every other day, or at least maybe twice a week, just to stay active and in front of people to get new traffic to your page. If you go quiet, no one's necessarily going to know you're in real estate. People are going to have questions. Your profile eventually, with all the algorithms these days, it's not going to get the same visibility, unfortunately. And after posting regularly, the other important thing is to post diverse content. So don't post the same thing today, tomorrow, and then the next day, because if nobody interacted with it on Monday, they're not going to like it on Wednesday. And the algorithms will recognize that and they'll say, nope, nobody cared, Chris. We're going to actually hide that. So we don't want that to happen to you guys. We want you to have a prominent social media presence, and we don't want you guys to have to overthink it either. Because yes, there's going to be times where you're naturally coming up with great ideas, but if that's not necessarily your strength, or maybe just one day it's a gloomy Friday, like what am I supposed to be talking about today? You guys can use this as your easy button. Go there, grab a link to something, slap it on your Facebook, and then you've done what you needed to do for the day. So keep that in mind because again, it's still relevant to real estate. So it's still directing new traffic to your page and it's different than maybe what you're regularly sharing as well. So be aware, not only can you benefit from this for yourselves, but you can also share it with your clients. Those are the two items I like to share on the CE shop. There's plenty more you guys are welcome to explore. There's also a little handout here about the Valentine floor plan. I've never had somebody ask me for this, but it is there if you would like to be the first. Otherwise, at the very bottom, there is going to be a section dedicated to numbers to know. These are going to be numbers that, again, are relevant to our specific office, things that you're not going to be asked for as often as, for example, like, okay, what is your license number? That's a different question. You guys should know your license numbers. I don't expect you're going to memorize our firm license numbers because you're not going to need them as often. But if you are looking for information like that, especially anybody who gets their South Carolina license, South Carolina likes to do things completely backwards. I'm going to give you a hint. They like to make it very backwards where you actually will go, you'll test, you'll get the exam, you'll get passing grade, great. Before they say, here's your license and here's the number, now choose your brokerage, they're going to say, no, 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 choose a brokerage and then we'll give you the license. It is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. However, they're going to ask you when you're filling out this application to get your license number to prove you're with a firm. They're going to ask you for our firm license number. So that's something that's posted here. You'll also find federal tax ID information because, again, referrals, that's often asked for referrals. So things like that you don't have to have memorized, but you might need from time to time will be found here. I promise, I'm going to preface this more tab. I'm going to highlight it real quick. It is going to be the longest drop down menu you've ever seen in your lives. And I promise we've talked about half of it already. So don't freak out. Bear with me. See, it's a lot. No, it's a lot. I mean, it's funny because we used to have more tabs at the top and then we kind of consolidated at one point. And I'm like, oh gosh, this is like overwhelming actually. So the top section actually, like from, I would say here up, all of that is tech tools, specifically technology tools. So if you guys are looking for tech help, we've talked about several of those things already, but this is where you can find specific tech pieces. Below, I like to point out just a few things. ALC meeting minutes, guys, that's a Google Drive folder that is dedicated to housing our meeting minutes because we do document the conversations that are had in our ALC meetings. So if you are unable to make one, but you want to know like, ooh, did they vote on something that I should be aware of? You guys can refer back to those meeting minutes and have that knowledge. Below is a prayer request form. This one is always more of a talking point for me than anything else. And that's really just to reiterate to you how sincerely we do consider you a member of our family from the moment that you guys walk in the door. And we want to be here to support you guys to the best of our abilities. So while you do not necessarily have to fill out my prayer request form, but you can always come to a leadership team member, whoever you feel like you've got the best relationship with. We're not picky. We just want to know how we can help you guys. So if there's something going on in your personal lives, please do not be afraid to share with us. We do just want to be able to check in with you. If nothing else, we want to be able to give you a hug in the hallways, maybe send you a card. If it's something very severe, maybe even our local KW Cares can step in and offer funding to help out with some of the things you're going through. So just keep us in mind. We are here to support you guys. And if you are big believers in the power of prayer, you can actually, especially if you fill out this form, which again, you're not required to, you can ask us, would you guys share that with the Market Center on my behalf? And we will. And we will have the Market Center praying on your behalf just to help add to that prayer power. Below is KW Perks. This is insurance related. So anybody who needs insurance, does not have insurance, or maybe you're just looking for something that might be better fit for you and your family. KW Perks is actually Keller Williams as a whole. They've changed who they've partnered with twice. This is so I don't ever remember who it currently is. So I apologize for that. But this is where you guys can literally click on that link. It will take you to the website where you can search the insurance marketplace at a discount, essentially. So just plug in some of your basic information, see what plans are available for you and your loved ones. And then if it makes sense, go ahead and invest in it and purchase that plan. But otherwise, keep what you've got if you've got insurance. But again, big lesson here. I know that insurance sometimes can be expensive and we don't always use it, but please make sure you are insured. Protect yourselves. We would hate for you guys to find yourselves in a very compromising position ever. Underneath, schedule a conference room. Again, if we're looking to schedule that conference room and it's much harder for us to remember where we first looked at it because it was a bunch of clicks and scrolls, you can find it right here in my More drop down menu. KWB firm exclusive listings. This is going to be, again, when you take a firm exclusive listing, you're saying essentially, I only want to offer it to KW Ballantyne. I don't want anybody else to know about this listing. So when you take a firm exclusive listing, there's specific documentation you'll fill out. And actually, Sabra will update this live sheet with those property addresses and information, as well as your information as the listing agent. So that way, anybody in our office that may be looking at that listing, they can reach out to you directly to find out more information. It can be a good opportunity. The reason I like to specifically point it out is because there is a good little list of firm exclusive listings usually for this office. And when you guys are working with your first set of buyers, if you realize like, oh my gosh, the criteria that they have, there's just nothing in MLS that works. Like, I don't know if I need to tell them like the market is just not that way anymore. If you guys are really running out of options, always come back to firm exclusive listings because those listings in particular are not going to show in MLS. So if you feel like you've exhausted MLS and not found the right fit, just cross-reference with this because who knows? They might be the perfect home for them waiting for you. It's just not an MLS because it's firm exclusive. So pay attention to that sheet. It is, again, a live document. So that is constantly being updated by Sabra. Strategic vendor partners. I promise you guys, if you're not big Facebook users, there was another way to get connected with our vendors. If you click strategic vendor partners, it takes you to a live Google sheet that will document all of our current vendors in our program. It will specify not only the company they are with, but our specific representative that we're in contact with, how you can reach out to them directly, and also will detail any services that are offered as well as any websites that are related to their company. So this is a great way for you guys to get multiple quotes, multiple recommendations for your clients. So I would highly encourage you guys to scroll through, especially again, starting out. We know you guys don't know everybody, and that's okay. We don't expect you to. That's why we have a vendor program so you guys have assistance in getting that ball rolling and knowing that you can trust many of these people right here on the list. You're also going to see, for example, under our cleaning services, we currently don't have anybody. It's not because we hate cleaners, I promise. It's actually going to be because currently nobody in that industry has elected to be part of our vendor program, and that's okay. This is more of a point for me to make for you as incoming agents. If you guys have a cleaner, for example, not that it has to be cleaner specific, but you had a cleaner who cleans your personal home and you're like, they're amazing. I think they would absolutely benefit from the opportunity to talk to 600 agents. Yeah, no, they should definitely be part of the vendor program. You guys can make those referrals to us. And what we do is we will have PJ. He's got business cards right at the front desk, so it's really easy. Just connect PJ and that vendor on an email, and PJ will jump in and he will share more about the vendor program. You don't have to know the details. He'll do the legwork for you. He'll even offer them an office tour. Really, you are just there to make that initial connection. But This again can be anybody that is in your personal life. If it's a family member, a friend that you know is in that business, or maybe somebody that you come across way down the road, if you feel like they would benefit from the opportunities, we want it to be a win-win. So just let us know. Alrighty. And then Outfront Magazine, guys, is the second to last item here. That one actually is going to be a lot like those hot topics for CE Shop. It's basically your easy button for social media. They actually, just like a magazine, they do monthly publishments, and actually they are outlining an entire calendar, and every single day they have a post idea specified. Again, I always say I am not an agent, so I have not looked as thoroughly into this as you may in just a few weeks here. Out for a magazine, I can't promise you that it's copy and paste worthy stuff. It might be more a prompt for you to kind of generate your own content around, but either way, that might be better than you started with just no ideas. So keep that in mind as another easy button for social media. If that is your plan of how you'd like to market yourselves and your business, that is going to be a great game changer. The last thing is discount codes for real estate education. I know I already showed you guys the CE shop, but I do want you to know we also partner with Superior because many of you may be looking at post licensing or CE sometime in the near future. If you are in that boat, Superior offers a 30% off discount for all of their courses all the time to you as a Valentine agent. You also can share this link with anybody as well outside of our brokerage. They can still take advantage of it, whether they're with a different firm and maybe looking to make a switch and you're trying to like kind of make their day. Or if it's somebody trying to get into real estate for the very first time, you guys can absolutely share this information and just, again, be a good person, cheer them up, make their day. And that's something that they can take advantage of with no obligation to turn around and join Valentine. The CE shop, as I mentioned, they fluctuate their discounts. A lot of times it's going to be a flash 1 day sale, which I will always post to our Facebook page so you guys know in advance. It's going to be posted that morning of the flash sale, so you guys have all day to take advantage of the discount. Other than that, those were going to be the primary tabs at the top. I do want you guys to remember, again, these ones I know we talked about, so I can go a little faster. If you guys are looking for a marketing conversation specific to your business, you want to talk strategy with Jules and Leah. I hope you guys have met them by now. It's at least Leah, because I know Jules just moved away not that long ago. But Leah is wonderful. She will absolutely sit down with you guys and help craft your custom plan. She just wants to know what you guys are interested in, what you guys have a passion for, so she can help kind of design and steer that marketing decision for you. But they can help coach you guys for free. You'll have 30-minute meeting sessions where you guys can book those for free. You guys can sit down online with them, or you can do in person if you're in the office and have those marketing strategy conversations. But if you would like to actually pay them just to tackle those responsibilities for you, they do offer concierge services, so you guys could pay them just to do it so it wasn't on your plate. But if you have the time or if you have the interest in learning, you are welcome to do it yourselves and keep it free. And next to that is our tech help button and our media room training button. Very similarly, it allows you to book an appointment directly with Rob for one-on-one support. That button is used specifically for KW Command and for DocuSign. Basically, KW technology help, that is Rob's alley. So if you click on that button, it will allow you to work with Rob directly and to get some of those questions answered. Or maybe you're just like, hey, could you just, I'd do better if I get like some hands-on support. Can we look at something real quick together? He's happy to sit down with you guys. That same button, as I mentioned earlier, it can be used for media room training. So if you guys are in the realm of deciding to start filming content, we have that fantastic media room available to use. We just want you guys, again, to know how to use the equipment. So you'll book 2 training sessions with him, and then you'll be free to use that SCADA site to book out the media room. The last thing I mentioned is this book call time at the front desk. Wilson, I know, has done call time before, but hopefully everybody gets a chance to explore call time. It's wonderful. And hopefully he can preach the fact that Sue's just like the best person to sit next to, is she not? She's just great. Okay, cool. Thank you. She's just so lovely. Like, I mean, she's really so nice. Sue is up at the front desk. That is that additional seat that's next to her. Actually, sometimes you'll see an agent is there. We offer 3-hour shifts during the day, 3 times a day, because we're here 9 hours. So 8:30 to 11:30, 11:30 to 2:30, 2:30 to 5:30. You guys can voluntarily go sit up front with Miss Sue. You guys can sit with her. Not only will it give you a chance, of course, to get your feel for the office, build that foundation and understanding of where things are, how things work. You'll get to meet a lot of agents coming and going, build those relationships with them. You also get to build your relationship with Sue, and that's never a bad thing. And then also, you get the opportunity for any inbound leads that the market center receives because you'd be surprised how many people call Keller Williams Ballantyne because they're like, hey, I'm looking to buy a house, don't know how to get connected to an agent. Any conversations that come our way like that, any leads, we give to you as the agent who's on call time. So you are able to take inbound leads while you're sitting up there with her. So just a great opportunity again for you guys to get a lay of the land while you're here and then also to start getting your foot in the door, getting the ball rolling in your business. So we have had many first time agents or new agents who got their first ever leads through call time. Actually, sometimes not saying all the time, but sometimes they're like $1 million leads, just FYI. So call time can be a very lucrative spot to be in. The other cool thing is that there are weekend shifts where we actually would just divert the phones to your cell phone. So any calls that we're getting throughout the weekend that would have been directed to the office, they get diverted to you and you can take those inbound leads as well. She'll send you a copy of our phone roster. So if that way you get a call and it's like, hey, Chris, thank you so much for taking my call. I'm actually looking for Wilson. I wanted to get his phone number. Then you could give him his number because you'd have the phone roster right in front of you. So it'll be a great way for you guys again to just potentially take inbound leads. And sometimes again, weekends, I know you guys tend to work. I like to relax and do nothing, but we are in different ballparks for that. Um, but so if you guys are more interested in maybe a weekend shift because it's just more opportunity, if you guys are interested because you just want the company of Miss Sue, you want to get to know the office, call time is a fantastic experience. Sue actually teaches a class once a month usually on how to do call time. Typically, it's the first Monday of every month. So unfortunately, we would have just missed the December class. She'll bring it back in January. And if you would like to do call time between now and the new year, you're welcome to do that. She is always looking for more friends to make and more help. As you can see, we've got several shifts even just this next week. Just stop in with Sue and ask her a little bit more about it. She's more than happy to share with you directly. The class is great. And if you guys want to get in before the next class, she's happy to share with you so you can be part of that. But you can click that button to start booking those shifts through call time. Just recommend talking to Sue first and then going ahead to book your first shift. But we would love to have you up there. That typically, guys, I think we've now covered everything. I did promise I wouldn't try to go too far over. We stuck to like 11 minutes over, which isn't terrible. I've been worse. So my question for you guys before I let you guys officially exit and go home for the day, because you have been here for a while. Does anybody have anything they would like to ask? Would you like me to revisit anything? I want to make sure when you guys leave, although it is a lot to digest, that you do feel like you've got some clarity out of today's conversation. If you do feel like it was a lot, because it can be, there is going to be a recording posted to YouTube. You can also go back to the website, try to figure out what we looked at, ask me questions. I'm always available. But otherwise, before I let you guys go, anybody have anything for me that they'd like to ask? I'm going to count that as a win, guys. I think that is a win for the Friday. So, yay! I'm so excited. Thank you guys for being here because I will always tell you I'm always here, whether you're here or not. So, thank you for giving me company because it is really lame to do this class by myself. Thank you for your time. Thank you so much for being part of our family. We love having you guys, and we're so excited to see what you guys are going to do in this business. If you need anything, we're always just down the hall. You can stop by anytime, but I'm gonna let you guys go. Get back to your weekends. Drive safe. I don't think it's actively raining, but I know it's damp this morning, so just drive carefully on your way home. But you're free. Go ahead. You're welcome.